she suddenly realized that she was already dead. But no matter how hard she tried, she could not remember how she died. Her soul was trapped inside the train station. No matter which exit she walked toward, she would be blocked by an invisible wall of air. Helpless, she could only wander aimlessly through the station day after day. She had clearly become a homeless wandering soul, until late one night, an old man walked into the station holding a dog. The woman felt uneasy inside. Dogs were clearly forbidden on trains. So what exactly was the old man doing here? She saw the old man tie the dog to a bench. With a vacant stare, he spoke words of farewell to the dog, but the dog did not pay him any attention at all. Instead, it barked wildly in the woman's direction. It turned out that dogs could see souls. Right after that, the old man stuffed a final note into the dog's collar. The woman instantly understood that the old man was planning to kill himself. She rushed forward in panic to stop him, but the old man could not see her at all, nor could he hear her voice. At that moment, a station security guard noticed something wrong, and hurried over to tell the old man to calm down. But before he could finish speaking, a train came rushing in at full speed. Afterward, the police received a report and rushed to the scene. They ultimately confirmed that the old man had died. In the blink of an eye, it was the next day. The station was still crowded with people coming and going, as if last night's tragedy had never happened. The woman was still the same as always, wandering around the station. But when she passed by a window, she suddenly saw the old man who died last night, standing among the crowd. She instantly understood that the old man had also become a soul. She hurried over to greet him. This time the old man really could see her. The woman told the old man that they were both souls now, both trapped inside this station. She asked if he still remembered anything from when he was alive, because not only had she lost all her memories, she could not even remember her own name. But the old man did not want to deal with her at all, and walked straight toward the arriving train. The woman hurried to stop him, saying that she had already tried countless times. No matter which exit she took, she would be blocked by the air wall. But the stubborn old man refused to believe it, and walked toward another exit. The woman had no choice but to follow him and tell him not to waste his effort. They could not leave this station at all. The repeated warnings made the old man extremely irritated, and he started cursing at the woman non-stop. As the same kind, their first meeting ended very unpleasantly. When night came, the woman sat around in the station feeling bored, and the old man appeared on the opposite platform. Clearly, he still failed to leave the station in the end. The old man felt ashamed and dared not look at the woman, and the woman simply chose to ignore him. Another night passed. The woman was sitting idly in the station restaurant when the figure of a woman caught her attention. With curiosity, she sat down across from the woman. From the phone conversation, she learned that the woman was actually the daughter of the old man who committed suicide the day before yesterday. Watching tears continuously slide down the woman's face, she could not help reaching out to comfort her. But the moment the tears fell onto her fingers, countless fragments of memories suddenly flashed through her mind.
Be there before the commencement.
There's the door. I'm so proud of you, lady.
Emotionally overwhelmed, she hurried out of the restaurant.
My name is Lisa. I was a teacher. I had a family. Why would I take my own life?
She remembered that she had lived a very happy life, but she still could not remember how she died. With no one to talk to, she could only go find the old man. After all, he was the only one who could communicate with her now. When the old man saw her, he first gently apologized for his attitude yesterday. The woman said she did not mind at all. She could understand how he felt. Anyone would have a hard time accepting being suddenly trapped here. Then the two of them introduced themselves to each other. They were both glad that their souls had not fallen into hell. Lisa told the old man that she had recovered part of her memory, but still could not remember her cause of death. The old man advised her not to dwell on the past. Sometimes the truth is not necessarily a good thing. Just as Lisa felt that what the old man said made sense, she suddenly saw three familiar faces appear on the platform. They were her parents and her boyfriend. It turned out today was the 1-year anniversary of her death. Her parents brought her boyfriend to the station to lay flowers in her memory, but their actions violated station regulations. In order not to disrupt order, transit police took them to the manager's office. After learning the truth, the manager felt sympathy, but still stated that personal feelings could not be used to break station rules. Seeing her parents and boyfriend right in front of her, Lisa could not help but burst into tears, and also understood that their actions were indeed against the rules. In the end, her parents and boyfriend had no choice but to give up the memorial. Watching her loved ones about to leave, Lisa rushed forward in desperation to stop them. Unexpectedly, a miracle happened. She actually passed through the air wall with ease. This meant she could finally leave the station. Her first choice was to follow her boyfriend home. She was excited the entire way, able to leave the station, and able to stay by her loved one's side at all times. After that, she followed her boyfriend to the apartment she bought when she was alive. As soon as she entered the courtyard, she saw the downstairs neighbor staring at her boyfriend in a strange way. She did not think much of it, and followed her boyfriend straight through the door. Familiar people and a familiar environment instantly reminded her of how she first met her boyfriend. Everything felt like it happened yesterday. While her boyfriend was taking a shower, she walked into the living room, and discovered that all the furnishings had been changed. Clearly her boyfriend wanted to completely forget their past together. At that moment she noticed the newspaper on the table. It carried news about her and the old man jumping onto the tracks. The police ruled her death a suicide. The reason given was that she had long suffered from mental illness. This left her full of doubt. Was she really mentally ill when she was alive? But looking at the intimate photos of the two of them on the table, she began to question that conclusion. With doubts in mind, she went to her parents' home. Seeing her mother looking depressed, her heart ached deeply. How she wished she could touch her mother's hair again. Her father was still the same as always, fully absorbed in working on his crafts. She went upstairs and returned to her room. Everything inside was unchanged. Even her childhood drawings were still there. Only a few memorial photos of her had been added to the windowsill. Thinking that she was no longer alive, a wave of sadness surged in her heart. Looking at the photos on the wall, she felt even more confused. Her past self was always smiling brightly. How could she be the mentally ill person the police described? She firmly believed that there was another truth behind her death. At that moment a man in one of the photos caught her attention. Fragments of memory surfaced again in her mind. She remembered that this man was named Richard. He was a co-worker of her boyfriend Jim, and had once lived with them as a roommate. She remembered that Richard used to stare at her often, and sometimes even followed her. Could her death be related to him? In fact, she was not the only one who had doubts about this case. At this time, Station Officer Matt was reopening Lisa's case. Although the police had ruled Lisa's death a suicide, the file showed that Lisa did not leave a suicide note before her death, and she had climbed over the fence to enter the station. This did not look like something a suicidal person would do at all. Matt stared carefully at the station map, and discovered a surveillance marker near platform 7. He immediately went to the station manager, and requested the surveillance footage from that night. The manager knew the case had long been closed, and agreed without thinking much about it. After that he went to the restaurant to meet Lisa's friend Bella. Bella initially thought Matt was just a station officer, and had no authority to interfere in a criminal case. Matt explained that like the police, they had the authority to investigate any illegal activity. Then he asked Bella if she had noticed anything unusual about Lisa before. Bella said that Lisa had indeed been troubled by depression for a period of time. Her boyfriend Jim wanted to take her to see a doctor, but she refused, and the two of them argued several times over it. Bella also said that Lisa once mentioned Richard to her, saying that Richard had been appearing downstairs at her home for a while, and looked very strange. But because Richard was her boyfriend's co-worker and roommate, Lisa was afraid her boyfriend would think it was just a hallucination caused by depression, so she did not tell him about it. There was also one time when Lisa held a birthday party. She did not invite Richard, but Richard suddenly showed up, and kept staring at her without blinking. This was something Lisa only told her afterward. With the first suspect identified, Matt quickly asked Bella for Richard's address, and decided to investigate his home first. Meanwhile, Lisa had already arrived at Richard's place. Seeing the familiar setting inside, she instantly remembered the first time she met Richard. Richard had seemed extremely nervous back then, stumbling over his words. When he saw Jim had prepared red wine, he even handed over 2 clean glasses. Just as Lisa was lost in her memories, Richard's doorbell suddenly rang. It was Station Officer Matt. After learning that Matt was there to investigate Lisa's case, Richard appeared somewhat flustered. After brushing him off with a few words, he shut Matt out. Afterward, Lisa followed Matt to the Transportation Bureau. Just in time, Matt received the surveillance footage from the station manager. Matt stared intently at the computer screen. In the footage, Lisa was running desperately, as if something was chasing her. He quickly zoomed in frame by frame to check. Sure enough, he found a man wearing a hoodie in the corner of the footage, but the man had his face hidden by the hood, making his appearance impossible to see clearly. With this crucial clue, Matt immediately returned to Richard's home. This time Richard did not drive him away, and the moment Matt entered, he saw a hoodie hanging on the rack, exactly the same as the one worn by the mysterious man in the footage. But he did not say anything. Instead, he asked Richard a series of questions. Richard said that ever since his co-worker moved out, he had hardly seen Lisa anymore, but Matt bluntly stated that someone had seen him appear downstairs at Lisa's place late at night. Richard explained that he liked night running, and that there was only this one road nearby, so passing by occasionally was normal. But Lisa knew he was lying. She clearly remembered what Richard looked like back then. He was not just passing by. As for why he appeared at Lisa's birthday party, Richard said that Jim invited him, and said Jim could testify for him. Matt wanted to keep questioning, but Richard suddenly lost his temper, stood up and pointed at the door telling him to leave, and warned him not to waste time coming back again. After Matt left, Richard instantly lost control of his emotions, picked up a cup and smashed it against the wall, then ran out in a panic. Full of confusion, Lisa followed him, and ended up seeing Richard run to her grave. He said sorry to the tombstone, and then fled in panic again. This action made Lisa even more certain that Richard was definitely connected to her death. In order to uncover the truth, she returned to the train station, trying to recover more memories through revisiting the scenes. Sure enough, she remembered that she had actually been murdered, but in the memory fragments she could never clearly see the killer's face. She then went to the bar where she held her birthday party while alive. The moment she walked in, a flood of memories rushed back. That night Jim invited many friends and family to celebrate her birthday. Everyone offered their blessings. Only Richard's blessing felt out of place. She did not understand it at the time, time, and did not think much of it. She only knew that Richard had always been strange. That night, which should have been beautiful, Richard kept staring at her with a weird look. Now she was even more certain that Richard was the prime suspect, but her memory had not fully returned. Even if she knew who the killer was, she had no way to take revenge. Helpless, she could only return to her boyfriend Jim's apartment, only to see Jim bringing home a new girlfriend. A surge of jealousy instantly rose inside her. She watched as the new girlfriend noticed her photo on the table, and asked Jim who the person in the photo was. Jim bluntly said it was his ex-girlfriend Lisa, who committed suicide by jumping onto the tracks not long ago. The new girlfriend felt awkward after hearing this, and expressed regret for Lisa. Then Jim explained the whole story. He said that Lisa had developed depression some time ago, and had become like a different person, not only snooping through his privacy, but also going to his workplace to cause trouble. He tried many times to take Lisa to see a psychiatrist, but she always refused. Over time he felt exhausted, and had no choice but to suggest breaking up. He never expected that Lisa would commit suicide right after the breakup. This made him feel guilty for an entire year. The new girlfriend hurriedly hugged Jim to comfort him, but Lisa knew clearly that everything Jim said was a lie. Although she had lost most of her memories, she firmly believed that she was never mentally ill when she was alive. She hid in the bathroom and cried alone, but unexpectedly saw the hoodie Jim had taken off, exactly the same as the one worn by the mysterious man chasing her in the footage. In an instant, the scenes from the night of the incident suddenly became crystal clear in her mind. At that moment she finally realized that from beginning to end she had been living inside a trap carefully designed by Jim. Time went back to the past. She met Jim at the hospital. Jim was a handsome surgeon, gentle and considerate toward others. On the day she was discharged, they exchanged contact information. After just one dinner together, they quickly fell in love. The next day, she accidentally saw an intimate photo of Jim with another woman. She curiously questioned him about it. Jim calmly admitted that it was his ex-girlfriend Helen, and said that they used to get along well. But later he discovered that Helen was extremely possessive, not only obsessively checking his privacy, but also causing trouble at the hospital where he worked. He wanted to take Helen to see a psychiatrist, but she always refused. Left with no choice, he had to painfully break up with her. After saying that, he threw the photo into the trash, right in front of Lisa. Seeing this, Lisa completely lowered her guard. She thought she had found true love, and soon introduced Jim to her parents. Her parents also thought highly of this future son-in-law. Considering that Jim living with co-worker Richard was inconvenient, she suggested that Jim move into her apartment to live together. On the day of the move, Richard also came to help. While Jim was away for a moment, Richard secretly told her to take care of herself. At the time she did not understand the meaning of those words at all. Only now, after recovering her memories, did she realize that Richard was hinting that Jim was dangerous. But Richard had an introverted personality, and did not know how to speak up, so he could only secretly warn her in this strange way. She also remembered that not long after Jim moved in, he suddenly pulled out a brand new property contract, saying he wanted to add his name to the property deed. The reason was to share the mortgage burden, and make himself feel more at ease living there. Otherwise he always felt like an outsider. Lisa hesitated, saying that the down payment for the apartment was paid by her parents, so she needed to discuss it with them first. Jim's expression changed instantly after hearing this. He immediately took the contract back, and mocked himself, saying he had thought too simply. After all, they had not been together for very long. Lisa wanted to explain, but Jim did not listen at all, saying they should just pretend this never happened, and the matter was dropped. Not long after, Lisa received an opportunity for promotion. It was an important position personally appointed by the principal. She was full of joy and wanted to share the good news with Jim, but unexpectedly she was hit with cold water. Jim clearly stated that he did not want her to be promoted. The reason was that after promotion the workload would increase, the pressure would grow, it would reduce the time they spent together, and harm their quality of life. Over time, their relationship would definitely have problems. Jim also said that he himself had recently turned down many promotion opportunities. He just had not told her, because he only wanted to live a stable and simple life with Lisa. As long as they had food and clothing, they would be happy. There was no need to spend all their time on work. Lisa was left speechless by his words, and even began to doubt whether she was being too selfish. In the end, in order to stabilize the relationship, she painfully gave up this rare promotion opportunity. After hearing the news, Jim was overjoyed, and even emphasized that he did not force her, that it was Lisa's own willing choice. To comfort Lisa's sense of loss, Jim held a grand birthday party for her at a bar, and invited many friends and family, saying it was to make up for her regret of giving up the promotion. During the party, Richard took the chance while making a toast to try to warn Lisa again, but his introverted personality made his words incoherent. Lisa still did not take it seriously. In the middle of the party, her best friend Anna pulled Lisa into the bathroom, and seriously told her that Jim had serious character problems. Anna said she brought her cousin to the party that day, and her cousin recognized Jim at a glance. They had once worked at the same hospital. Back then Jim aggressively pursued her cousin, and after being rejected he deliberately caused trouble for her at work, leaving her cousin unable to stay and forcing her to quit. What was most critical was that this had happened not long ago. Lisa could not believe it at all, blinded by love. She even suspected Anna of being jealous that she found a good boyfriend. In the end, she simply cut ties with Anna, and they parted on bad terms. After the party ended, Lisa told Jim what Anna had had said, but Jim remained unusually calm. He twisted the truth and said that in reality Anna's cousin had been pursuing him, and after being rejected she quit out of resentment, and was now deliberately having Anna smear him. After a heartfelt defense, Lisa once again chose to believe Jim, and even said that such a best friend was not worth keeping. But late at night, Lisa woke up and found Jim not in bed. She walked into the living room in confusion, and unexpectedly saw Jim secretly crying on the sofa. She hurried over to ask what was wrong. Only then did Jim say with grievance that he hated himself for ruining her friendship with Anna, and was even more afraid of making her suffer in the future. Seeing Jim so full of self-blame, Lisa felt deeply pained for him. To reassure Jim, she directly took out the property contract from the drawer, and signed her name without hesitation. Jim was extremely moved, and immediately signed it as well. But ever since the contract was signed, Jim seemed to become a different person. He would lose his temper at the slightest thing, and often hide near the door talking to other women on the phone. Lisa questioned who was on the other end. Jim only said it was work-related conversations with co-workers. As he spoke, he became inexplicably irritable, and even blamed Lisa for doubting him. During an argument, Jim directly grabbed Lisa by the neck, and pinned her against the wall. Seeing Lisa about to suffocate, he finally let go. Panicked Lisa immediately ran to her parents' building, but fearing her parents would worry, she ultimately turned around and left. She wandered helplessly in a park, when a policewoman's voice suddenly came from behind. It turned out Jim had called the police. Jim lied to the police, claiming that Lisa suffered from depression, and asked for help finding her. When he saw Lisa return, Jim instantly switched to a worried expression, putting on the image of a devoted boyfriend in front of the police. After returning home, Lisa issued a harsh warning, saying she was not as weak as his previous girlfriends, and that she could choose to break up at any time. As soon as Jim heard this, he immediately knelt down to apologize, saying that the one who lost his temper earlier was not the real him, that work pressure recently had caused emotional loss of control, and that if Lisa broke up with him he would not be able to live. These emotional words once again moved Lisa, but once cracks appear in a relationship, they can never truly be healed. The next day Lisa went to Anna to apologize, but Anna was already completely heartbroken, unable to forgive her for abandoning years of friendship for a man. When Lisa returned home, she realized that she had no one left to talk to. She could only contact her father and arrange to meet at a cafe, but just after they sat down, Jim suddenly walked in. He lied, saying it was just a coincidence, but the coincidence was far too deliberate. That night while Jim was asleep, Lisa secretly took his laptop and hid in the bathroom, only to discover that her phone had been installed with surveillance software by Jim. Unable to tolerate it anymore, Lisa woke Jim up and started packing his luggage, telling him to get out. At first Jim pretended to be aggrieved, saying he did all this because he cared too much about her, but Lisa had completely seen through his true nature, and firmly insisted on kicking him out. Seeing this, Jim stopped pretending, and bluntly stated that he owned half of the apartment. Lisa did not care at all, saying she would rather spend more money to redeem the house. This sentence completely enraged Jim. He once again viciously grabbed Lisa by the neck. Lisa struggled desperately, kicked him away with one foot, and then ran out of the house at full speed. Jim chased after her. The two staged a life and death chase in the streets. In the end, Lisa was blocked by the station fence, with nowhere left to go. She could only choose to climb over the fence to protect herself. Overwhelming hatred surged in her heart. She immediately decided to begin her revenge. Perhaps anger awakened the power of her soul. She unexpectedly discovered that she could actually touch objects in the real world. This undoubtedly gave her revenge plan a massive boost.
What the fuck was that?
With her invisibility advantage, she could have easily killed Jim, but she felt that would be letting this scumbag off too easily. She wanted to slowly torture him, and make him pay the most painful price, never allowing him to harm another woman again. Watching Matt use the same old tricks on his new girlfriend, repeating the sweet lies he once used on her, Lisa trembled with rage.
What happened?
It's okay.
But this was just an appetizer. The real punishment was still to come. She first quietly cracked Jim's computer password, then carefully prepared a candlelight dinner in his home, waiting to give Jim a surprise. Sure enough, when Jim came home from work and saw the scene, he was completely stunned, full of confusion, not knowing what was going on. The eerie atmosphere in the room made his skin crawl. When he saw the photo of himself and Lisa on the table, he panicked even more. Immediately ran downstairs to question the neighbor about messing with him. Before the neighbor could explain, he started cursing loudly. The neighbor was not someone to mess with either, and immediately fired back. The next day he threw the photo of him and Lisa into the trash, then drove to the hospital for work. But how could Lisa possibly let him go? She followed him directly, just as she was thinking about how to torment Jim next. She happened to see Jim flirting with a new co-worker again, but the co-worker was not interested in him at all. Lisa had a sudden idea, and used Jim's email to send an ambiguous message to the female co-worker. After reading the email, the co-worker immediately frowned, and went straight to confront Jim, launching into a harsh scolding. Jim was completely confused, and had no idea what she was talking about. about. He tried to explain but was cut off immediately. The co-worker warned him that if he dared do it again, she would report him directly to management and have him kicked out of the hospital. Seeing Jim's dumbfounded look, Lisa felt indescribably satisfied. But this was only the beginning. She wanted Jim to live in fear every single moment. That night when Jim came home from work, the moment he walked in, Lee was so scared he almost lost his soul. He hurried to find the remote to turn it off, but Lisa immediately turned it back on. With no other choice, he unplugged the power cord. Unexpectedly, Lisa played it again on the laptop. Just as he shut the laptop, he turned around and saw the photo he threw away that morning, placed neatly back on the table. Next second, all the female co-workers received the message. The hospital instantly exploded. Everyone pointed at Jim, their eyes filled with contempt. Before Jim could even understand what happened, the hospital directly fired him. Meanwhile, station officer Matt was still investigating Lisa's cause of death. After learning that Jim had been fired, the usually timid Richard finally gained courage. He reached out to meet Matt and cooperated in recording a statement, revealing all of Jim's crimes of harming multiple women. Matt quickly took the statement to report to his superiors, and the leadership immediately decided to reopen Lisa's case. In order to gather more evidence, Matt found Lisa's downstairs neighbor. The neighbor said that on the night Lisa died, she clearly heard Jim and Lisa arguing at home. After that, the two of them hurriedly ran out. But late at night, only Jim returned alone, and the next day the newspaper published news of Lisa's death. Obviously, Lisa's death absolutely could not be separated from Jim. With the key clue in hand, Matt left his business card and hurried away. He needed to report to his superiors and apply for Jim's arrest as soon as possible. After Luke and fled the house in panic, but Lisa teleported and followed him. Seeing Jim's crazed and bizarre behavior, the neighbor immediately called Matt and reported the situation. At this point, Jim was completely terrified, convinced that Lisa's soul had come back for revenge. He ran wildly through the streets, but no matter how he ran, Lisa's voice was like a curse, echoing in his ears. Without realizing, the train drew closer and closer, and he jumped onto the tracks without hesitation. At the critical moment, Lisa stepped in and saved his life. It turned out Lisa never intended to kill him. Kind-hearted even after being murdered, she was unwilling to take another person's life with her own hands. In the end, Jim was sent to a psychiatric hospital due to schizophrenia, and Lisa returned to the station that had trapped her for a year. After saying goodbye to the old man who was also trapped there, she boarded the train for the first time, heading toward an unknown distant future, beginning her own new life.